I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be, don't ask her to be your girlfriend. Well, if you want to get a girlfriend, asking a woman to be your girlfriend is not a good way to go about trying to get a girlfriend. Got an email here from a viewer, and he says, hey mate, he says, first of all, I read your ebook and it's fucking amazing. Besides reading it, I didn't actually get what I was looking for, so I decided to ask you personally. Well, it's like there's only so many scenarios I can talk about in the book, and that's why I go through all of these video, and I do these video coaching newsletters, is because it gives you literally hundreds and hundreds of different scenarios on the same kind of topic. So even if you didn't find what you were looking for in the book as far as specific scenario, there's a good chance I've probably done a YouTube video on it or something that's related that'll help you out in between maybe the time that you book a phone coaching session with me. He says, well, I have a situation in my hands, and there's this girl in my college. We've been talking for nearly 3 weeks, both in person and through social networking. Until 4 weeks ago, I haven't seen her in my life. She started to contact me through my cousin in college and in person, saying a simple hi at first. Well, it sounds like she found out about you and heard about you, and she's hunting your ass down. When women hear about a great guy, because a lot of them will say that the great ones are all taken, or they're married, or they're gay. And so when they hear about a good guy, a good catch, like they do about me, of course, they find out. It's like they hear about you through your mutual friends or people that work with you, and if they hear that their friend is meeting you for a drink, or like, oh, can I come along? It's like they invite themselves along, and they'll come and track you down, and it sounds like that might potentially possibly be what was going on here. It's like you got to look for those things, because when women like you, they help you. They'll put themselves in their orbit. They'll make sure that they've got something to write your phone number down with, or if you don't have something to write with, they've got something to give you theirs, or they've got their phone with you so they can take your phone number or text you their phone number. So he says, since she showed interest in me, I followed up by sending her a message 3 weeks ago. So we began talking, laughing, and all that stuff every day since then. And well, everything was going perfectly with her showing positive body language, regular touching, etc. So I decided, and so my question to you is, why didn't you ask her out on a date? And so this is where he trips and falls and stumbles. And so this is interesting because I talk about this a lot. It's like on a scale of 1 to 10, a woman has to perceive you of at least a 5 or better for you to have a chance at causing her to fall in love with you. And obviously in this particular case, this girl's probably the 70 to 80% range, or a 7 to 8. She probably perceived you as a 7 or 8 out of 10, and that's why she was making all of this effort up until you start doing things wrong, and then it starts sending her level of attraction in the opposite direction. And he says, so I decided to ask her to be my girlfriend on a date. Never do that. On a first date, when you ask a girl to be your girlfriend on a first date, the first thing that's going to pop in her mind is she's going to think, but you don't know me that well. And it's just the fucking way women think. It's like when I was younger and I'd go on dates with girls, that's the type of way I thought too. Because as men, masculine energy is about purpose, drive, mission, succeeding, accomplishing things in life. And so a lot of times we take the same approach when it comes to women or girlfriend or relationships. We think it's just something that we've got to manipulate, push, or use skill and technique to guide it, or guide that person into that area of our life that we want. And it's like we don't even pay attention to see if they're interested. We're just determined to just drive them like right to the marital finish line, if you will, or the the altar of boyfriend and girlfriend. It's not a mad dash. It's actually, your job in the courtship is just simply to create one fun-filled romantic opportunity for sex to happen after another. And it's like, so you were on a date with her, and instead of just having fun and maybe hooking up and having sex, you're talking about her being your girlfriend. And when you do that, right away it pops into her mind is, I'm going to lose my freedom. You've got to love the other person in such a way that they feel free. And when you go out on one date with a girl, and on that date you're asking her to be your girlfriend, she right away becomes fearful that she's going to lose her freedom. And so that's when she starts turning around to get the fuck out of there and away from you. He says, so I called her up at last Wednesday to set a date for Saturday. We made it definite, but we skipped the time of the date due to our busy program. So you didn't really make a definite date. You kind of left plans up in the air. And so I would say more than likely it probably wasn't so much to the busy program. It's probably because she really didn't want to make a definite time because she was leaving herself some wiggle room so she could cancel on you. He says on Friday, though, a day before the date, she seemed a bit distant. I could notice that she was looking for someone else and paying little attention to me, but still keeping a little body language, playing with her hair, and regular eye contact. I mean, the only time you should be around this particular girl is when you're taking her out for a date. You shouldn't be texting her and talking to her and all this nonsense and this social networking shit in between, because what you're doing is you're basically talking yourself right out of potentially becoming her boyfriend down the road by the way you're acting. He says, late at night the same day, she calls me up and says that she couldn't go on a date with me because I always love these excuses, because her best friend's boyfriend called them up to his house for Saturday night and we could go on another day out. She didn't lie because a friend of mine was also invited along with the others to go to his house for a party. Oh, so in other words, so she's basically saying I have a higher level of interest in hanging out with this random stranger than you. And that's what, and so she's canceling her date to do something else. That just means that she doesn't really want to go out with you. I mean, if she really wanted to spend time with you and she really wanted to go to this party, she would have invited you to the party. See, the thing is because you like the girl, it's like, it's like, it goes right over your head and you completely ignore that stuff. That's why you got to pay attention. You got to be objective. And it's hard when you're emotionally invested and you like a girl. You get attached to her and you just ignore little things like this, but they mean a lot. He says, I haven't contacted her at all yesterday and neither today, and I'm afraid she lost most of her interest in me. So I was wondering how to react. Should I go and talk to her or just wait until she contacts me? Well, she broke a date with you, and that's like a cardinal sin. That's like a no-no. Because a woman doesn't break a date with a guy she has respect for and she really likes. And a man who perceives himself as a catch is going to be like, no. That shit don't work with me. And he's going to delete her number, and he's not going to call her or ask her out anymore because he's got 3 or 4 messages from other girls that want to see him. So why would he be fucking around with this girl that hasn't called him back or he hasn't heard from? He's not. He's going to forget about her and move on because she disqualified herself in his eyes. And so if I were you, I would walk away and never look back. I wouldn't call, I wouldn't text, I wouldn't do anything. Just stop moving forward completely all together because it was totally disrespectful what she did. He says, thus far, I'm doing the second one, which I assume is waiting for her to contact, but I will be forced to see her on Tuesday due to being in the same college. So do I disappear for a while to see if she's really interested, avoiding at least personal contact? Should I move up or should I contact her? He says, I don't want to be convulsive. Well, what I would do if I were you, like I said, is nothing at all. Wait to hear from her. And if you know she's going to be in a certain place, just don't be where you know she's going to be. If you see her like, hey, what's happening? How are you? How you been? Well, hey, if you get into anything fun this weekend, shoot me a text. Reach out to me, and maybe I'll meet up with you or something. And you just say that to her when you're with her because she blew you off for something else. And the excuse really kind of sucked. I mean, she could have totally invited you to this particular party because you had other friends that were going to this party. So you got to look at that. And you got to stand up for yourself. And this is where having self-respect comes in. Because if you have self-respect, you're not going to chase after a girl who has blown you off. You're just simply going to spend your time with other women. And you're going to be preoccupied with other women. And so if she calls or texts you, arrange a definite date and then get off the phone. Stop all this fucking texting back and forth and all this social networking messaging and stuff. And so when you see her, say hello, be brief. Hey, it was great chatting with you. Keep in touch. I got to run. Just say that. Keep in touch when you got to leave. Like, hey, it was nice seeing you and keep in touch. I got to run. And so you don't give any indication you're going to call her in any way or reach out to her in any way. But where you really fucked up was asking her to be your girlfriend, and that's why she's totally backed up. And that's why she broke a date on you. So don't ever do that again with another woman unless you want to get rejected like this girl did. So if you have a question you want to ask me, go to my website, click the Contact Me tab, which will be on the left-hand side of your screen, and send me 1 to 2 paragraphs max, and just give me several days to get back to you with a response. If you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session. You can do that by going to my website, click the Products tab, which will be at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. If you want to get a digital version of my Kindle ebook, on my website, underneath the email sign-up box, is a box that has a link that will take you right to the Amazon Kindle download page for my book. Once you get there, if you don't have a Kindle device, just download one of their free e-reader apps for your smartphone, your tablet device, or your computer. And if you appreciate the value of the information I offer in these video newsletters, the articles on my website, and my ebook, you can show your appreciation by going to my website right now. And there will be a toolbar at the bottom of your screen. Click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information. And I will talk to you soon.